Guys, so today's video is going to be on a Toro commercial 21 inch recycler pushmore. It's a 22-187, like I said, commercial. It's presenting with a no start problem. So it was running fine and it just quit all of a sudden, they said. Okay, so if you're interested in that, please stay tuned. We'll get right to it. We're back. So what I did first is I tried to start it, check for spark. We got plenty of spark. We even put a new NGK plug in it, just to be sure. I mean, we were getting spark, and we know we got a good spark plug. Then it was kind of hard to pull, so I was kind of curious about that, but tried starter fluid or gas in the carburetor just to see. I kind of wanted to start for a second, but then it didn't. So we eliminated it's not the fuel, because we know the plug was getting wet, so it wasn't the fuel problem. So next thing I checked was for a bent blade. There was no bent blade, so I'm not going to pull the cover to check the flywheel. But I did pull the valve cover off. I thought I'd check for valve valve adjustment. And look there. Yep. The intake, it looks like that's the intake. Push rod is off the rocker arm. So there you go. So we're going to get that put back on and adjust the valves and put it back together, and I'll show you that, and then we'll try to see if it won't crank up and run then. All right, please stay tuned for the rest of this. Thank you. Guys, now the first thing I want to do here is I'm going to pull this rod out and let's make sure it's not bent, which it's not. Put it back in. Make sure you get it back in the thing right on that tappet. You can feel it when it's on there. And just to make sure, I'm going to turn the lawnmower blade. Of course, we've got the spark plug out. Just to see if we can't feel it pushing this rod up. I'm getting no movement, so maybe I'm not right where I'm supposed to be. Okay, now we got it. All right, so I'm going to try to get it back down as far as I can get it. Be right back. Alright guys, so this was a new one on me. When I got the push rod back in here, it wasn't moving. So the tappet wasn't moving at all. So I guess it was stuck. I don't know how it got stuck or why it stuck. But so I got it lined up and I loosened this rocker arm just enough to get it back over. And I don't know, I don't suggest this. This is the first time this has ever happened to me. But I got my little rubber mallet and I just, I opened the intake valve up all the way by turning the lawnmower blade. So I opened it up all the way, so I know there's supposed to be some slack in here. And then I just gave it a gentle tap, and that tappet freed up. So now you can see that exhaust valve moving like it should. Like I said, I don't know why. So now we're going to set these things. We're going to set them at 4 thousandths. So I got my feeler gauge. This particular model uses a 14 millimeter on the outside and I don't know what size, but it's an Allen wrench to do the adjustments. Very similar to a Briggs engine. It's just this is a 14 instead of a 10. Usually they're a 10 on a Briggs. But anyway, so we get that done. Be right back. You can do this 2 or 3 different ways, 2 ways for sure. But I like to just open up this top valve all the way, or whichever one I'm going to be adjusting. Open this up till it's all the way down, all the way open, and then we'll adjust this one. And I know there's a lot of play in it right now, because I had to loosen it quite a bit just to get it on the... So, like I said, it's an Allen wrench and a 14. So we'll use the feeler gauge at, I want to set them at 4, so I'm going to use a 5 because I usually tighten down a little. It usually tightens down a little harder on me. We got to come back out just a little bit. We're going to get that in there, just like that. Got a little drag on it. Leave it like that. Try to get my 14 over this without moving it too much. And then I'm going to tighten this down. Alright. Let's see what we got. So the 5 is still in there pretty snug. So let's go back and check it with a 4. It's a little loose. We may have to go back and... Okay, that's better. There you go. Now let's check the other side. Top one. So we'll close this one all the way down. Right there. And we'll check it at 5. Oh, and be careful on these guys. You don't want to have 2 stuck together. Okay, so that's 5. It's very loose. So I'm going to do the same thing I did on the other one. I'm going to adjust it and I'll get back with you. So we got it buttoned back up. We got the valve cover on, the spark plug in. We're going to take it down off the jack stand and see if it'll run. Keep your fingers crossed. Well, it runs. Cranked up and ran for a second, then it killed out, and now it won't crank again. So we're going to pull that valve cover back off and see if it came off again. I took that cover back off, and the push rods and the valves are still adjusted, but so I pulled the spark plug again, and look. I don't know if you can tell. It's pushed that electrode right down, so there's no gap. So I straightened it, I re-gapped it and put it back in, and it did it again. I've got to go check and make sure this is the right spark plug. It's a BPR 2ES. Now the customer gave me this and he'd already put it in there. That's how come I knew it was new. But I did not check to see if this is the one that goes in this fj180v, and I should know that right off the top of my head, but I'm going to go in and check it out real quick and see, and we'll go from there. But it cranks up and runs, but it runs wide open, kind of like the governor sticking for a minute, and then it settles down, and then it finally just, once this gets banged down, so I guess the top of the piston's hitting this for some reason. So let's see what's up. This is probably going to be the end of this video, but if you look right in there, got the carburetor off. I don't know if you can tell. It's running wide open and it's hitting that plug. We've got the right plug in there. But look at that. The butterfly valve from the throttle shaft is stuck inside the intake right there. So I don't know how that happened. We're going to pull that out and see what's going on. But you can see this shaft is up and down free. So that's why it's running wide open, I'm hoping. I was thinking the governor might have let go, but we're going to check this out and see if this doesn't fix it. So there you have it. Sure enough. Like that screw came out. I guess that screw's already been through the piston and, into the combustion chamber probably. That might have been what had something to do with getting that, making that push rod come loose. Got stuck under the valve or something. I don't know. But anyway, I'm going to see if I don't have another butterfly valve, and we'll get this straight. But that's going to end this video for right now. We'll get back to you later on. Put a new butterfly valve on that carburetor. Let's crank it up and see if it runs. There you go, guys. So this has been quite an interesting morning. First, that push rod was off. Didn't know what caused it. With a lot of investigation, I've never seen that butterfly valve come off like that. I guess it happens. I've just never seen it before. But you see, for all that to all happen to this one more at one time, kind of makes me think might have been sabotaged. Don't know. But anyway, we found the problem. So if you enjoyed this video, please like, leave all your comments, and hit that subscribe button, hit that bell. Thanks for watching. Jungle Bob out.